Ladies and gentlemen.
So, men are wondering why their wife's cat is drier than the Sahara Desert. And this is all connected to the very fact that men do not listen to women. Men don't want to learn how to communicate with their women. Men don't want to help their women. Men are not emotionally available for their women. So, a lot of women are thinking that something is wrong with them. They think that maybe they're just going through like life changes or something medical, and that's the reason they can't get wet down there. But no, our vagina is actually connected to our mind and our brain. We don't just get horny out of nowhere just because we're bored. Women have to be talked to. They have to feel like you're their friend. We have to feel like we're protected. We have to feel like you're listening to us and understand us. When we feel misunderstood or alone, women have a very hard time getting freaky and getting nasty and just dripping. Like, I know a lot of y'all know this is rated X, maybe. This is not PG anything. This is probably a little too rated X, but I know a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. As a woman, after so many years, it's like we need certain things to get us there. And if our husbands or boyfriends are not doing those things, it's just not going to happen. So let's listen to why women don't want sex as much when they're in a relationship or a long-term marriage, or why they just can't get just lubricated down there on their own. And I will talk to you ladies later.
My wife doesn't want to have sex with me. We used to have sex, now we never have sex. They'll talk about how the wife has changed. She used to be this way, she used to be that way. I always ask those guys the same question, like, well, what did you do to change? Boom. When did you stop showing up for her? At what point did you stop dating her? Because you presented something different, I'm guessing, 99% of the time. When you were dating, you presented this guy that was really interested in her, concerned about her emotions, concerned about taking care of her. And at some point you got married and you thought, now I just got to check boxes and I'm going to get what I want. You stopped taking care of her, you stopped being present with her, you stopped showing up. There's a reason most of the time, you have some toxic females out there, but there's a reason why most of the time women aren't showing up to the table anymore. They follow the man's lead. So if the man stops showing up, they stop showing up. And I'm telling you, man, like, as I've dialed this in with my wife now, when I make sure she knows every day on some level how important she is to me, really authentic, like spending time talking to her, making sure I tell her how beautiful she is, paying real genuine compliments to her, being present with her in a conversation, listening to what she has to tell me, and not trying to solve it, just like being there for her, like, baby, I love you, you're beautiful, I love you, guess what, man, she's just this flower that blossoms, and all the feminine energy, all the support, all the sexual needs, everything that I need as a man, she gives me abundantly, and she does it generously and happily, and it's this really awesome dynamic. Any guy out there, if you're having this struggle in your relationship, it starts with you. It always starts with you.
The primary reason why women stop having sex with their husbands is because they don't feel emotionally safe. And the reason that they don't feel emotionally safe is because their attachment needs are not being met inside of their relationship. Attachment needs are our deepest needs inside of a romantic relationship. And if those things are not fulfilled, we will not feel emotionally safe. And especially for women, when there is a lack of emotional safety, they start feeling very unsafe giving their bodies to their partner, and they start to feel extremely unattracted to their partner. Like, they simply can't get physically turned on by their partners anymore. So if you're not familiar with my content, you might be asking, how do I know what their attachment needs are? Well, there's a lot of information about attachment out there. You could dig through my videos and you could probably very easily figure out the attachment style of your partner. Attachment science has been around since 1958. It's been studied empirically in thousands of empirical studies. Go to PubMed, the studies are out there, okay? Or you can work with me and I'm happy to assess the attachment of your partner. And here's what you need to know. The different attachment styles have very, very different needs. So knowing the attachment style of your partner is really the keys to the kingdom and getting all your needs met inside of the relationship as well. So the anxious preoccupied, their biggest need is love, affection, and reassurance. So they need lots of reassurance every single day that you love them, that the relationship is stable, and that you are in fact appreciative of them. And they really have all the love languages. They just want lots of reassurance of your love, okay? The fearful avoidant, I just did a video on this. Their biggest need is to be able to feel seen, heard, and understood in the relationship, aka trust you to show up for them in a way that feels good to them. Okay, so really leaning into seeing, hearing, and understanding them and making a lot of space for their feelings is super important. For the dismissive avoidant woman, it's going to be space, autonomy, and lack of criticism, aka peace and harmony inside the relationship. So a lot of times what I see is that women are expressing my emotional needs are not met, aka their attachment needs, and I physically cannot get turned on by my partner anymore. In fact, they start to get disgusted, like they get the ick, so majorly bad. And could you open up your body and allow someone to like penetrate your being if you feel disgusted by them? They feel like they're violating themselves and someone is violating them. And trust me, I do videos on why meeting a man's sexual needs is very important inside of a relationship. So I'm definitely not one-sided on this. I'm just trying to share the woman's side here. And I know I may get roasted in the comments by the men, and I'm expecting it, and I don't care. And none of my self-esteem comes from what, Bob thinks, right? But I know that I'm going to have a lot of women in the comments shouting, thank you. Thank you for saying what's been so hard for me to say or what my husband is not hearing. So there you go.
So a creator had came on here and made a video, and in the video he said that he doesn't believe that men 100% understand women when it comes to like sex and intimacy. And he was saying that women are naturally emotional creatures and men obviously tend to think from logic. And he was saying that most of the times your woman has a reason for not wanting to be intimate with you. Like, long story short, basically your woman is not just not in the mood. Like, it's not that she just don't want to have with you, but basically what he was saying was, if y'all not checking for y'all woman, if y'all not making y'all woman good, why do you think that she want to be intimate with you, especially because you're not meeting her needs? And he was saying that a lot of men out here don't even recognize that they have to cater to a woman's needs. What is your woman missing right now, and what is the reason behind why she doesn't want to be intimate with you? And I highly agree with him. I believe that once you really, really, really respect a woman, and once you really, really treat a woman how she's supposed to be treated, it's a faucet. Like, I'm not even, all jokes aside though, my girl, we rarely have moments where she's not in the mood. Like, obviously she's human, she's a woman, like, other than like her cycle and stuff like that, like, she's in the mood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you have a relationship and when you have a girl and you don't tell her no, and you spoil her and you meet her needs and you respect her, you would be, I don't even think it's a surprise.
Okay, I want to stop right here and say, obviously, she's with a woman, so she understands women a little bit better, and she can give a woman what she needs, like emotionally and psychologically. And so I don't agree with giving a woman anything she wants or just always saying yes to a woman. But if that's what she has to do, if that's what she wants to do, and it pleases the person she's with and they don't have problems, I don't have problems with that either. But I don't agree that men have to give a woman whatever she wants and say yes to her all the time in order to get her horny.
But I think a lot of niggas out here will be surprised that just by meeting your woman's needs and meeting her expectations when it comes to like her emotional values, your woman should never, ever, ever not be in the mood. Like, she should always be in the mood. You should be the one like, all right, babe, like, you feel me? Nah. But
why your wife doesn't want to have as much sex as you, or she doesn't want to have sex at all. So for many men, sex is a stress relief. But for women, you need to actually relieve stress and then you can have sex. So as her husband, one of the best things you can do is help her to relieve her stress. You can help a woman, particularly your wife, relieve stress by allowing her to share, to talk, to...
This is going to be damn near impossible for most men because they don't listen to women and they really don't care what women have to say. So good luck, ladies. This is the reason that most women, a lot of women are filing for divorce, but good luck in trying.
To complain And I know this may feel a little bit uncomfortable because it might feel like she's blaming you or she's not happy and it's your fault, but I want you to stay strong. I want you to be her hero. I want you to be a soldier and just allow her to speak. Don't fix her problem, just allow her to share, because you'll find that at the end of it, she'll feel very different and she may just want to jump in.
My client said something to me recently and it just totally reminded me of where we used to be. And he said, my wife would rather scroll than have sex with me. I just could picture my husband and I in bed where I'm feeling disconnected, cold. Putting in work to have sex was way too much at the time. And it almost was like, the end of the day, we're so tired, we haven't really connected, and then he would try to have sex with me. I'm like, heck no, like, get away from me. And I just looked like I was probably like really, really harshly rejecting him, which I probably was. But it just reminded me of how important it was that we went under the surface to address these things. Like, you can stay in this position for another 10 years where this is how you go to bed and you live the same day over and over and over again, or you can create change like right now. My husband got a marriage coach. I started growing and changing. I also started getting coaching where I needed to figure out, like, where was I hurting? Why was I hurting? Why did I feel so disconnected? And the same for him. He needed to learn how to love, how to lead, how to figure out what was going on with me, what I needed, because I genuinely didn't know how to express it. And there are answers to all of these things that are going on. It's just we have to do the work. We have to do the work to figure out why your wife would rather scroll than have sex with you. And if it's too much work to try to figure out putting all the puzzle pieces together, then it's like, then you don't deserve to have a great marriage.
My wife doesn't want sex anymore. Women who tell you that they don't want sex, well, they're just too scared to tell you the truth. You've treated her terribly. She's not in love, she's not attracted, and she's settling. And one day, she's gonna get a promotion at work, or maybe her business takes off. Maybe there's a funeral, a friend's divorce, or she just wants to leave you to finally get peace because she's done with your emotional violence. Maybe she's just tired of being your mom. Here's the truth. It's laying dormant inside of her. And one day, someone is gonna walk by and wake everything up inside of her.
3 reasons your wife is no longer interested in bedroom activities. Number 1, there is a lack of non-sexual physical touch. Women crave affection through touch that doesn't lead to anywhere. Holding hands, kissing, cuddling, that has no other motive. When the only time you show her physical affection is when you want to do the deed, that's when she feels used. Number 2, there's some unresolved issues going on. There's some tension or resentment that has built that has not been addressed. And even if she loves you, that wall, that tension that's still there will be in the way of physical intimacy. She needs to feel supported and understood. And when there's unresolved resentment or tension or conflict that has not been addressed, then she's gonna pull away from you, both emotionally and physically. And number 3, you're emotionally disconnected. When she doesn't feel heard, understood, valued, appreciated, it's really hard for her to open up physically. That's when physical intimacy starts to feel forced. For most women, intimacy starts outside of the bedroom. If your wife has pulled away, stop asking what's wrong with her or telling her that she needs to figure it out or go to the doctor or try X, Y, and Z. Start asking how you can show up better, how you can love her better. What aspect of that is missing? When you understand her heart, physical intimacy.
Women don't withhold sex from men. 3 ways to prove that a man's a weapon. 1, he yells at her. When a man yells at his wife, he turns his wife off. That means she's not into him. It's really that simple. 2, men don't do something they say they'll do. That means a woman can't rely on him. If she's frustrated inside, there's no butterflies there. 3, men don't get their wife out of fucking mom mode. If she's not a woman, she won't want to have sex right now. Men need to stop being so lazy and poking her in the fucking side and expecting their wife to be excited for the bedroom.
Men, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to say the thing and be done with it. I might delete it later. We'll see how things go, but I just feel like I needed to tell you this. Women like sex. And if your gut reaction to what was just shared is, well, mine doesn't, she never wants to, you ruined it for her. You ruined it for her. Yeah. And I'm not going to critique and pass judgment on your performance skills. It's not for me to dive into, especially on this platform, because it'll probably get me, shunned. But the thing is, if you made the act something that has become an obligation because you either, one, keep telling her that it's a need of yours, and it's how you feel close to her, so she kind of feels like, well, if I don't do this thing with him, then he's not going to be nice and kind to me. Like, if you've made it that dynamic, you've ruined it for her. Or number two, if every time that you touch her, it starts to lead to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, and you're trying to jump her bones all the time, you've ruined physical touch intimacy and how that leads to one thing or another. So if you feel like what I've just said to you, women liking sex, is not true, and your experience has been that they have not, again, you probably ruined it for her. And if your retort to that is, God forbid, a guy is attracted to his wife, that's awesome that you're attracted to your wife. But to be truly attracted and to pour into her and honor that attraction by letting her know that she's seen and beautiful and all these things, like, you want to treat that engagement of sex as this delicate, beautiful thing that makes her want to keep showing up to it, rather than feeling like it is a job that she needs to do so that you will get off her back. Literally. I think that's everything.
As a man, how can I expect her to be safe when I blame her for everything? How can I make her feel protected when I don't keep her protected from myself, from my ego, from my unwillingness to step up? How can I expect her to feel safe if I keep making out every problem to be her mistake? If I'm not willing to take accountability, how can I expect this woman to give her vulnerability and her whole heart to me? What kind of relationship am I creating for this woman?
When she doesn't trust you, this can be like trusting the things you say, or even trusting the fact that she can count on you, or the fact that you're going to be there for her. The biggest way to make sure she can trust you is do what you said you were going to do. Follow up on your actions so it's not just all talk. Otherwise, this shows when you say things, it doesn't really have any great value. I'm sorry again. Oh, I'm sorry. I fucked up again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If you don't follow up in the actions you say, you just become a shit talker. And this can really fuck up the trust in a relationship. If you make a mistake, take the time, fix it. If you're going to apologize for something, I think the biggest way you can apologize is by your actions. Because after a while, the words you say just start to lose a bit of meaning if you're just saying sorry every single time. When a woman feels safe and secure in a relationship, she will trust you and follow you to the ends of the earth. When she feels like you can take care of her.
So for women, emotional intimacy precedes physical intimacy. Women need emotional intimacy in order to want to be physically intimate. Women like to be seen and heard and held. They like to feel special. They like to have a man who can hold space for their emotions and listen to them. This is why often in the beginning of relationships, women are more physical with their husband or the man that they're with, because they're in that courting stage where the man is, taking them on dates, getting them flowers, wanting to learn about them, making them feel special. But then a lot of us have a tendency in relationship to become complacent. And that's when the physical intimacy also starts to break down. Because I work with a lot of couples and the man will say, oh, my wife no longer wants to have sex with me, etc. Well, this is a huge reason why. Because in order for a woman to want to be physically intimate, they first need emotional intimacy. The courting stage needs to not end for them. The problem is men are conditioned to not feel their emotions. They are uncomfortable with their emotions because our society has told men that they're not allowed to feel. So that creates a problem in relationships. And this is why doing the work together is so important. Learning how to talk about your emotions, share them, having open and honest communication from the heart. Because men, the truth is, she is not going to want to hold your dick if you cannot hold her heart. So, all of that to say, it's really, really important to do the work together, because if you're not growing together, you will grow apart. And if you want physical intimacy, you need to learn how to stay emotionally intimate too.
This is the #1 reason why women shut down sexually inside their romantic relationships. I'm Dr. Sarah Hensley. I'm a specialized social psychologist, and I've been studying the science of attachment and attraction inside romantic relationships for nearly 20 years, and this is another edition of Carline Relationship Advice. So the #1 reason women shut down sexually, and this is really not debatable because there's so much science around this, okay, is because they do not feel emotionally safe. Well, if we dig into what makes a woman feel emotionally safe, it is whether or not her specific attachment style needs are met. Attachment science is solid psychological science. It's been around since 1958 and has never been falsified. It's only been extended and refined, so we know that it's good science. And so a woman's attachment style, which predicts her biggest needs and her biggest pain points, absolutely has to be catered to in order for a woman to feel like there's emotional safety. And a woman's emotional safety is directly tied to the lady bits. I mean, really think about it. If you don't feel emotionally safe in a relationship, how could you possibly open up your body and be that vulnerable? So I have men that come to me all the time and they're like, well, I do the dishes, or I buy my wife all this stuff, and she has all the help she needs and she still won't sleep with me. And I'm thinking, but are those things meeting her attachment needs? See, if she's anxious, preoccupied, her attachment needs are lots and lots of verbal reassurance, quality of time, physical affection. They have all the love languages and they want them all. Okay, they need lots and lots and lots of feedback that you are in this relationship, that it is stable and that they are loved. If they are fearful avoidant, by far the biggest need is to feel seen, heard, and understood, and that they can trust you. So even little breaks in trust, like you said you would take out the garbage and you don't do it, is going to be like a knife in the heart to their attachment wounding. And they really need to see that when you guys are in disagreements, that you are giving lots and lots of feedback, that they are heard, that they are understood, and you will actually make changes in their relationship based on what they've told you. For a dismissive avoidant woman, the attachment needs are going to focus really, really strongly around lack of criticism and lots of peace, harmony, and fun inside of their relationship. So they really struggle with conflict. They want to be spoken to in a really gentle way. They want you to come at them with non-critical communication if you have an issue inside of the relationship, which is something I teach in my hybrid group, by the way. And they want the relationship to be peaceful and to have some fun in the relationship. They want it to be light. They want it to be more surface level. That is just who they are. And so if you realize that you don't know your wife's attachment style or your long-term partner's attachment style, and the sexual relationship has gone down the tubes, really speaking to their attachment needs is what is going to solve the problem. It's just, there's so much science around that. And I've seen it over and over and over and over throughout the years. Men think they understand what women need, but there aren't gender correlates here that really predict what they need. Gender is the worst predictor of what someone needs inside of a relationship. Someone's attachment style, someone's specific blueprint for bonding is what predicts what women need inside of a relationship. If this was interesting to you, you can see me at my website, thedatingdecoder.com, soon as of next week to be thelovedoc.com. We're going through a rebranding. You can use code LOVE14 through the rest of the month for 14% off. But let me, before you go, tell you about this awesome project I'm involved in called the Positive Impact Project. This money goes to charity, so if you have a servant heart, please listen up. You will get $14,000 worth of digital products from experts like myself in all sorts of arenas, from food to beauty to relationship advice and personal growth and development for just $67. And these funds will go to different charities around the globe. The link is in my link tree, so please check that out.
Your woman is less or no longer interested in sleeping with you are 5 potential reasons why. Number 1 is she feels misunderstood about something very important to her. Number 2 is she feels unseen by you, which means she doesn't feel noticed, significant, or special by you. 3 is she feels unsafe around you, either because you're indecisive, uncertain about yourself, or emotionally unstable. Number 4 is she's lost major respect for you. Maybe you've recently lied or cheated, or you've been behaving in a needy, desperate, or approval-seeking way that turns her off. Number 5 is you let her violate your boundaries and walk all over you. Women do not respect men that they can control, or who won't stand up to her or for themselves.
Hey, beautiful. Why don't you do this later? Let's spend some time together.
I'm really tired. I'm just gonna put this away and I was just gonna get to bed.
Well, I feel like we haven't been intimate in a while. Is there something wrong? Are you mad at me or something? I just really want to connect with you.
I'm not mad at you. Babe, I'm exhausted.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
I'm not mad at you. I love you. I'm genuinely exhausted. It feels like everything is just taking from me all day long, whether it's the baby, work, the house, cooking, groceries, cleaning. I'm just tapped. And
yeah, I understand. I'm also really exhausted and feel, depleted too. But what does that have to do with intimacy? I want to connect with you. I think it's important that we stay connected.
I think for me, intimacy and that natural urge of desire is a natural side effect of me being well rested. Like right now, when my nervous system is this burnt out, desire is turned off. Like it is completely gone. I don't have space for that. So in order for me to have desire and to want to be intimate genuinely for myself, I have to feel balanced and well rested and have personal time and self-care, because when my cup's full, that's a natural desire for me. So when I'm this burnt out, intimacy doesn't feel like something I naturally want to do. It just feels like another chore and another situation where someone and something is taking energy from me.
Okay, yeah, and I don't want you to feel that way. I get it. So what can I do to help you feel more supported in that?
I need, I guess, support and having space and personal time and rest and relaxation. Like you creating an environment for me to rest helps me get to that place.
I see.
Naturally. So I need more support and personal time.
It's really common when we have a lot of obligation or overwhelming circumstances in our relationship that our intimacy shifts focus to more of emphasizing on trust and emotional connection built through shared experiences and overcoming trials together, rather than solely relying on physical closeness. It's quite common for relationships to experience a dry season in periods of consistent accountability, where there's a lot of obligation that's demanding your guys' time and responsibility, as we may become physically, emotionally, or mentally drained from addressing those demands and discomforts. This shift is not only healthy, but it's normal and also indicative of evolving depth of the relationship. It's a maturing stage where fun, play, sex, and flirting, which often characterize the honeymoon phase, give way to the demands of a shared life, which might not always feel as exhilarating, but are crucial for long-term stability and growth.
Physical intimacy, romance, sensuality, those are all attributes of a couple being in the theme of ease together, versus a couple who's enduring a lot of shared responsibilities and obligations. They are in the theme of accountability. And if you want to learn all about that transition, the book is The Inner Work of Relationships, and it's an invitation to heal your inner child and create a conscious relationship together.
There are many, many factors as to why women just don't like to be intimate. Now, I can tell you some of the reasons why, but honestly, I would like to ask the ladies. I want to know, what is your reason why you do not like or prefer not to have sex? Now, my guess is we're going to see some of the same kind of answers. It's a chore, my needs aren't being met, there's no emotional intimacy, so I don't feel like being physically intimate. His attitude, he's always angry, I'm not getting pleased, it only lasts a couple minutes or a second, it just feels like something else I have to check off my list, I just don't like it that much, I'm not a sexual person. There are many, 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 many reasons why. But I do want to point out that a lot of these reasons actually do rope back to your hormones. Because if your hormones are out of whack, your libido is going to be something that's non-existent or very low. And it's not going to be something that frequently comes into your mind. And honestly, the less you do it, the less you want it. So, ladies, did I get it right? Did I tap on all the things? Or is there anything else that you can think of as to why you don't like sex?
Do you ever wonder why women stop being intimate with their partner? It's not what you think. It's not because she doesn't care or doesn't want to. It's because when a woman feels no emotional safety, her body literally shuts down. For women, intimacy is all about emotional connection. Without it, no matter how hard she tries, she will not be able to fully receive pleasure. Over time, she starts to become cold and rigid. Then she starts living in wounded masculine energy just to protect herself. Our very own anatomy shows us the truth. Men are supposed to be the givers and women are supposed to be the receivers. But for her to truly receive, she has to feel safe enough for her to fully surrender into her feminine energy. So if you never want to lose intimacy in your relationships, then men, you need to start providing emotional safety to your partner. And women, you need to start embodying your feminine energy, which feminine energy is a feeling, because intimacy should always be pleasurable for both partners. And if it's not, you know something's wrong.
4 reasons she's not in the mood as much as she used to be. Number 1, she doesn't feel emotionally connected to you. Personally, I got complacent after marriage. And once stress comes along with jobs and kids, we can stop filling our partner's love tank like we used to, right? And I'm not saying you're the only one guilty of this. I'm just saying that might be why when you walk up and say, so you want to do it? It doesn't stimulate her responsive desire like it used to. My vote is ask her, what's one thing I can do this week to help you feel more connected? And then do it. Number 2, she feels pressured, and pressure kills desire. There was a season when I asked my wife, let's take a short break from the bedroom and just focus on our intimacy together again. And that really helped her to feel more safe to initiate hugs and kisses and playfulness without any pressure of it needing to go further, which ultimately made her feel more connected and want it to go further. Number 3, she's exhausted. And you might be exhausted as well, but if we love this person, we should care about whether or not they feel like the mutual chores or the domestic labor or the kids are all falling on their shoulders. Not usually the best recipe for arousal. My guess is she finds it sexy when you do chores without having to be asked. Could be wrong. I dare you to find out. Number 4, you're a selfish lover. And I'm really sorry to be the one to tell you, but the bedroom is about service. It's about attunement. It's about bonding together. Sometimes she feels like she's just a means to an end for you, that you don't really care about intimacy with her. You just want to use her body, and that's a big turnoff. Make sure that her pleasure is just as important as yours, and I bet she returns the favor.
You want to know why she doesn't want to fuck you? It's because she's reflecting you. Like, we put it off as it's her fault, like it's something wrong with her, something going on with her. The reality is, and when you look at the laws of polarity and the laws of relating, she's just reflecting you. Like, she fell in love with a man that made her melt. She fell in love with a man that planned for her. She fell in love with a man that had a forward vision of where they were going. Now she looks at the man who hasn't planned a date in fucking 5 years. She looks at a man who sits on the couch, eats bonbons, and plays PlayStation all day long. She looks at a man who hasn't worked out and has gained 40 pounds and looks like shit. She looks at a man that she no longer respects. She no longer desires. She no longer trusts. And so she just reflects back to you the thing you already know about yourself. If you want to be desired at the highest level, then make yourself fucking desirable. If you want to be trusted, then be fucking trustable. If you want to be fucked, then learn how to be fuckable. Stop blaming the world for all the shit that's happening to you. Take some accountability. Because the world just reflects what you feel about you. The world just reflects you all the way around. And in your most intimate relationships, your most intimate partner, she's always going to reflect you in this capacity. It's not a test. It's a reflection. It's time to look in the mirror and see what she sees and make adjustments.
Listen, I just don't know why she's never in the mood anymore. Oh, my wife was the same way, man. Have you tried non-sexual affection? I'm sorry, what? Non-sexual affection. You know, like holding her, kissing her softly, touching her gently, not just groping her. You know, touching her without trying to get her in the bedroom, just loving on her and not pressuring her for sex? No, I'm not a sissy girl. Okay, have you tried just like talking with her, you know, like about life and love, getting to know her again, how's she feeling, how are her stress levels? Does she feel like anxiety or depression or hurting her libido? How can we support her in that, you know? What are some things that she's excited about? What does she need from us during this season to feel loved or valued? No, I've been pretty busy at work lately. Right. Have you tried empathy? Never heard of it. How about emotional connection? No. Vulnerability? I don't speak Spanish. Intimacy? Is that a real word? Building trust together? Nuh-uh. Treating your relationship as important as sports or your hobbies? Why would I do that? How about checking in to see if she feels overwhelmed with the physical and emotional labor of the relationship? I don't understand a single word you just said. Have you talked with her about any hurts or resentment that she has with validation and understanding instead of dismissiveness or gaslighting? No, I don't think that's it. Have you tried prioritizing emotional safety? Huh? This is a tough one. Have you tried serving her in the areas where she feels most loved and cared for? Yeah, I go to work for her every day and I mow the grass every week. Yeah, I bet you even change the oil and shovel the snow. Exactly. Gosh, man, I don't know. I mean, if it's not one of those, she's probably just selfish. Yes, exactly right. She's just being selfish. That's exactly what it is. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad we could get to the bottom of all that.
I'd like to share with you an awesome conversation that I had with a new client of mine, a young man, 24 years old. It's my hope that what I shared with him is a help to you and other men and women the way it was to him. 24 years old. He is 1 year into his marriage. His wife is 24. They were married at 23, very young, right after college, a few years after college. And he said to me, he said, Doc, my wife said to me that she has lost interest in being intimate with me. She feels like that They argue too much, that he doesn't listen to her. He doesn't understand her. And he said, Doc, honestly, he said, I don't see where I'm missing the boat. And intimacy for him, he said, is very important. He said, I'm young and I'm married. He said, going weeks without intimacy is a big deal for me. And it doesn't seem to be a big deal to her. And I don't know what to do to resolve it. I said, well, number one, it is a big deal to her. It's a big deal to her. And this idea that intimacy isn't a big deal for women is not true. Women value intimacy, physical intimacy as well, just as much as men do. So that's number one. I said, but let's go beyond that. I said, would you consider her to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stable? Right? I said, you've seen my content. He said, yes, sir. He said, I would definitely say that. She's stand up. She has been seeing a therapist for years, not because anything was wrong, but really she just understood the value as a person who's working to become a licensed clinical therapist. She understands the value of therapy. So she's really solid, a really great girl. I said, okay. I said, so let me then tell you this. Every woman needs 3 basic things in a relationship. Don't forget this. And I said, you're 24, you're going to learn this, and it's going to help you. Number one, every woman needs to feel safe. Okay? When every woman can rest in feeling safe around you, she can also rest in her feminine energy. And when she can rest in her feminine energy around you, she's going to feel safe mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Your job as a man is not to make her necessarily feel safe, because she has to come to the table with some mental, emotional, and spiritual stability as well. But your job is to support what she's bringing to the table so that she ultimately feels as safe as she humanly possibly can feel. I said, so when you do that, she can rest in her feminine energy. She doesn't have to worry about being on guard. She doesn't have to worry about responding, to you doing or saying something crazy. She doesn't have to even worry about what you're going to do next, or if you may do something off the grid, because you're going to make her feel safe by how you show up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that's going to cause her to be able to rest and relax in her feminine energy. So the second thing that every woman needs to know or needs to receive is that every woman needs to be seen. He said, you mean in terms of looked at by other people? I said, no. She needs to be seen, listened to, heard, considered by you. This is important. I said, because most women that are healthy could really care less about what other men think about her as much as she cares about how her man sees her, how her man listens to her, how her man considers her, how her man hears her. And where a lot of men mess up is they take women for granted and think that because they have her, they no longer have to listen to her. They no longer need to hear her. They no longer need to consider her. And this is oftentimes, especially for women that are broken, that are not healed, this is oftentimes how they end up confiding in other men who will listen. And oftentimes that leads to other things. So a woman wants to be seen, meaning she wants to be listened to. She wants to be heard. She wants to be considered, right? So you want to make her feel safe. You want to make her feel seen. I said, and then you want to make her feel secure. I said, I want to be careful here because, again, much like being safe, she's got to show up doing her part to show up in the relationship, in the marriage, as secure as she can possibly be already without you. We don't give people security, but our actions encourage their continued security. How do we do that? I said, every woman wants to trust that you will not make her look or feel stupid. He said, what? I said, yeah. I said, ask her. I said, there's no greater compliment than a woman being able to walk around with no fear that another woman is going to come up to her wanting to talk to her as another woman. He started laughing. I said, and guys don't understand this, that a woman can feel secure already before she meets you. She can be secure before she meets you. But it is how she can trust in you that takes that security to a totally different level. And when that security is on a totally different level, and she doesn't have to worry about women coming out of the woodworks because you listen to her, she trusts you, just as she hopefully listens to you and trusts you, it is the ultimate form of security. And she will be able to, again, rest in her femininity, take her guard down, and open up to you. I said, if you give her those three things, then the gates of heaven will stay open. He said, the gates of heaven? I said, yeah. I said, do you know what the gates of heaven is? He said, no, I don't. I said, you said y'all were lacking intimacy, correct? He said, yeah. I said, do these three things and the gates of heaven are going to open and stay open. Because every especially healed woman that feels safe, that feels seen by her man, and that feels secure is going to be able to relax in her feminine energy with you. And there's going to be nothing you will ever want from her. This is healed and whole women that you cannot get from her. See, understand this. I said to him, I said, men are aroused from the waist down. Women are aroused from the neck up. Don't ever forget it, because once you can stimulate her and make her feel safe and secure mentally and emotionally and spiritually, then everything else is going to take care of itself. I said, spend less time talking, spend more time listening. Spend less time trying to argue because you don't understand, and spend more time trying to engage her so that you can try to understand her. And as she's doing the same thing to you, she's going to rest in the confidence that you have her. And I'm telling you, man, at 24 years old, intimacy is going to be the last problem that y'all are going to have. I hope this made sense. If it did, type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then remember, you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.
Women are not sexually aroused when they have a lot on their mind. So
or their plate.
Right. So we don't go just based off feelings, is also mental.
Yeah, of course. We can't have a gazillion things going on. We're managing the house. We're managing work. We're managing this. We're managing that. We're doing the laundry. We're doing this. You're just coming home from work and it's like your pecker gets hard and you're like, yeah, I'm ready. It doesn't really work like that.
We don't have peckers and we don't get hard. So
like,
it don't work like that.
Your wife doesn't want to have sex with you anymore. It's not her sex drive. It's not her stress. It's not her fucking hormones. Not even the kids. You act like a horny teenager. Every time she's getting dressed, she's in a towel, she's in her underwear. You grope her in the kitchen, poke her with your junk in the bed. You only cuddle her because you want to hit the bed with her after. You've made her body unsafe, even in her own skin. But you can fix it. Use my stat response. Structure. Stop relating everything to sex. You want to show connection on all levels. Own the past mistakes and what she's calling you out on. Even if it's not true, you don't just want sex. Say, you're right, baby. I've been acting like a horny douche. Adventure. Be playful without agenda. Make her laugh. Not uncomfortable. Say, you know what, babe? I'm actually hornier on Thursdays. And pick a day that's a couple days prior to the day you're on. Trust, follow through. Hug her, cuddle her, give her a rub down, and don't try to jump her when she shows the affection in return. When you stop using her body and start treating her like your wife, she'll want to get naked with you again. If you want help to create mad passion in your marriage again, I can coach you. DM apply and I'll send next steps.
The reason why that lady only giving you sex once every 3 weeks or once a month or once every couple months is because you're not being the person that she needs you to be. You're not being the man that she needs you to be. I guarantee you, if you think about it, there's some things that she has asked you for and it doesn't even have to be financially, but there's some things that she has required of you, whether it was to take the trash out at a decent time or fix something in the house that you're not fixing, or she's having an issue with the kids and you want to address it as a man, or there's something going on with her car and she needs your help and she's been telling you and you're not listening. Y'all be wanting women to give y'all sex and y'all not even being the person that they need y'all to be. I ever heard the saying, happy wife, happy life? If you get that woman what she want, I promise you she'll fuck you more. She'll probably fuck you every day. But you got to give her what she want. The energy that you give her is the energy you're going to get back. If you're not being who she needs you to be, she's not going to be who you need her to be. Women feed off of you. So if you're a good person to her, if you're a good spouse to her, she's going to be a good person or a good spouse back to you. It's really just that simple. Like, y'all make it difficult when it comes to women and their happiness, but a woman's happiness is actually very simple. Just be the person that she needs you to be. I mean, that's what it's all about anyway, right?
Ah!